Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Survivor Recap, of course, on the Royalty Podcast. And I am your host, Big D. And of course, I cannot go through another Survivor season without having the icon, my Philadelphia brother, James Jones, in the building, okay, who is been up my back, has beat me up, has asked why he has not been on the show. He has called multiple times. He has called me out, and now he's eating a flammable drink, which just, I have to put a warning, guys. Please do not do this at home. Just let James do this crazy shit. But James, how are you? Welcome to the Royalty Podcast. How are you doing, my brother? Oh, also, James is from Survivor 43. I'm so sorry. What place did you come in, James?
I believe I got a 10th. I ain't do. I wasn't runner up. I know that much. I made it to the merge. I made it to the
Okay.
merge.
That's important.
Made
James,
it to
how
the
are
merge.
you? Tell everybody what you've been up to. What's going on, my brother?
Hey man, thank you for having me, Big D. I'm chilling here in Philly, just doing my normal thing, working, trying to have some fun, ready for the weekend. My birthday was on Tuesday. I turned 39.
Oh my God, happy birthday.
Thank you, my guy. Just trying to, trying to be out here making the 40, man. It's tough when you black out here. Shoot, I feel like I'm at half my lifespan right now. I feel like I could cut up on your network. You know what I'm saying? We live at 65, so I'm like having my quarter life crisis right now, three-fourths life crisis right now. So I'm excited. I'm having a good time, man.
Listen, you look amazing for 39, okay? I didn't even know you were 39. Can I be honest, James? I thought me and you were the same age. I thought you were like 31, 32. I thought you were around there. But look, you look great, man.
Thank you. I appreciate that, man. I be trying, man. Shoot, that made me feel good.
Good. No, seriously, just know that now we really got to turn up because, like, hey, 40 is knocking on the door. But I heard your later 30s and your 40s are better. That's what they say. So let's just pray that
You
we're
fall
for
asleep
all of
earlier.
us.
You fall asleep earlier.
I
Like that's
fall
what
asleep.
happens.
I fall asleep, period. So that doesn't, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't think it matters with age. But James, of course, you play Survivor 43. How was your experience? Like, give us a quick little recap. Like, how do you feel your experience went? Because, for me, I remember when you were going on the show, I was like, oh, okay, so another person from Philly. How did you do? You didn't tell me, but you told me it was going to be some shit. And I was like, okay. Then I watched it and I was like, yeah, and I was really mad at you because I was like, you acted a damn fucking fool. So tell me
Really?
your experience.
So I felt like I had low key. I was just talking to one of my other favorite people on Survivor Couture, and like low key, I had a blast. Like to me, Survivor's like going to camp. It's like you go to camp when you're a kid, and no one knows anybody else, and you just whatever hierarchy forms. So for me, like going on the show, I wanted to go on the show for a long time. Like I wanted to represent one for Philly, one being for a black male too, and I wanted to represent, and we go on these shows and we also think we can't embarrass our people. So I feel like I didn't win, but I feel like I played a game where people thought I had a possibility to win. And for me, that's a solid, cause some people play the game, like no offense on the death, but people like, yeah, we know you're not winning. At least people thought
I
I
thought
had
you
a
did
chance to
great.
win.
I thought you did
So,
great. I'm just messing with you. I'm always busting.
oh
I'm
yeah,
always
no,
messing
we
with you. But no, I
we
think you did
Gucci.
great. Yeah, I think that if I remember, oh my God, it's been so long. I think it was just funny because I remember just you were tribal. You were not as chaotic, not as close as Q, but you were up there with the chaotic stuff sometimes at tribal. And I was like, what is he doing? But I think it was just all part of your game of just messing with people and stuff.
Actually, I didn't so for me, I felt like I was under attack the whole season. So in my head, I'm like, yo, y'all keep coming at me and y'all keep missing. And that's I think that's what I took. I feel like I took a lot of, not personally, but I was just kind of just like, yo, y'all really coming at me. I'm really chilling. Y'all just want to come at me. So at the first couple of tribals before I got voted out, like when I'm the target and I know what's happening, I'm like, all right, let's go. Like y'all keep trying to. It's like that. That's the fun part of the game to me, where it's like I got. My vote wasn't the whole tribe though. Like it was only half the tribe. Like so, I mean, the people that made it to the end actually didn't vote me out. So I feel good. The final four didn't put me out the game. So what
Well,
I
that's
said,
good.
yeah.
So do you feel like, word on the street, and I've asked all my guests this, I know you cracked a joke about it earlier. You don't think you'll get the call for 50?
I mean, I feel like I hope a lot of people have issues. Like, I hope all my other, my types. I hope they are having kids. Hope they have strife in their
So they
life
call
where,
you.
so like, I don't wish nothing bad, but like if they got like a sprained ankle,
Yeah.
pull back muscle or something, when they in grad school, they got a job. All that I wish for. Only that so I can be on 50. Like I wish for all of that stuff.
You know what, James? I have to say I agree with that. I'm all about that type of plan. Cause me, I would have been saying something completely different. I'd be like, I hope they break their kneecaps. I hope they can't do nothing. But you did it in a nice way, so I'm gonna take that nice page from your book.
Hmm.
Now, James, of course, I know you have been watching. I see your tweets. So if you guys are not following James on Twitter, please make sure you guys follow James on Twitter. I will put all his social media in the bio of this YouTube. But just I love seeing your recaps. I love hearing your thoughts. I want to get into, of course, I know you're watching this season, so I don't need to ask that. I want to get into episode 11, okay? I think if I'm correct, are we down to the final eight? Are we at the final eight or
No,
final seven? Where are we
we
at?
were we were we're at 7, and 7
Okay.
is the most like critical vote only because in Survivor, and hopefully this changes, but you never know. You have a final 4, so when you get to 4, you can't vote anymore. So at the end of the day, at 7, you get a 4 at 7, you should be able to take that home to the bank. But we'll see what happens. But it was the 7 people were left, and
Okay.
yeah, it was a good episode. So.
Okay. All right, well, let's get into it. And please interrupt me at any time. Of course, if you have any thoughts, let me know. We start out this episode with Mackenzie. Keep in mind, Tiffany just went home. Mackenzie was hurt and blindsided. She talks to Charlie about it. Like, she was just really upset and shooken up. This is the first time I think we've seen Mackenzie's emotions. I think that she's just been playing this game very, like game mode the whole time. Oh, you know what? I lie. We did see Kenzie's emotions in the beginning when she thought she couldn't handle, being there. But that was the only time she kind of cracked, and after that, she's been solid the whole time. So I can't imagine losing my number one, even without knowing. If
All
I'm
right.
doing it, I'm prepared for that. But what's your thoughts?
So my thought about Kinsey, right? So with Kinsey, I feel like the thing about it was she gave the green light to everybody to take out Tip the week before, and then like I think maybe she was excited, like I want to make a move, and then she kind of had cold feet the second time, but you already gave the green light. So once you get a green light, it's tough to take a green light back in Survivor when you're on the island because people have already said we're cool getting Tiff out. So once people have already said that and thought about voting her out, and we're going to, then there's a plan switch to somebody else. That just means they have the votes to get Tiff out the next time. It kind of happened to me. We're like, when you're trying to get somebody out and trying to get somebody out, trying to get somebody out, you're just having those conversations over and over and over again. And it's hard to pull back once you give the okay on somebody. It's kind of
Yeah.
tough.
Yeah, no, it is tough. It is tough. And I think it was one of those, like you said, like, I like the idea, but now that we're about to execute it, this drink on fire, I'm like worried, like you're gonna, like your beard is gonna light on fire. You got any chemicals in your beard?
All natural, yo. Cocoa butter.
Okay. I'm like worried. Is cocoa butter flammable?
Cocoa butter and coochie juice. We out here.
Lord Jesus, have mercy, God.
Just
Anyway,
jokes,
so
people. Just jokes, guys. Just jokes out there.
so we
Just
get
jokes.
so we get to I want to kind of fast forward. Maria also suggests a final five with Q, Liz, Ben, and Charlie and herself. I thought that was smart. Of course, like you said, it's a numbers game at this point, trying to look ahead. But Venus has a conversation with Liz, talking about Maria and how Maria's gameplay move and how that was Maria's move and how look at her. She's showboating. Look at her. She's a threat. She's building a resume. Do you think that she's onto something?
So I say no, because all right, here's the deal. I think I'm different on this, right? You're going out there to play the game, right? Like I feel like like you're supposed to make moves, right? Like when someone makes a move, I mean, my thought about it is great move. Now you got a target, but I need to make a better move. I'm not necessarily thinking, at least in my head, you made a good move. Let me get you out. Because once I get you out, now I'm the target. But everybody has different thought processes about how they want to, a threat or not a threat. But for me playing, people are always going to perceive me as a threat. So I'm not going to care what other people do. My job is to play my game. I do think though, you can't. She was left out of the vote before, but you have to kind of see past when you're playing the game, see past relationships and look at just votes. Like who's been on the right side of the vote? And then from a perception standpoint, was I really the person that made a vote or was I a add-on to the vote? Which is hard to do when you're on the island. So you're talking to Liz, but in that mind, I'm trying to figure out who's my four. And if you're not working with Q, Maria and Charlie are together. So you only got, you got Kenzie, you got Liz, and you got to find someone else because that's three. And I think she was trying to make some inroads there. So.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. That's a great point to make. Based on how the game is going, and it also depends on the type of players you're playing with. That's another thing I realized. It depends on, these games can all be different depending on the type of players and people's thought frames. That's what I think makes competition shows so interesting, because we could sit at home and be like, baby, it's simple. Just vote out that person that just made that big move. Or somebody could be like, it was everyone's big move. It's really the thought process, but you really don't know until you're there in the island or in the house or I don't know, wherever. There's so many different competition shows now. They're all over the place. Let me get to the next part. Mackenzie suggests after what happened with Tiffany, she's like, she knows that idol's back into play. So now everyone goes on an idol hunt, okay? Now, watching them look for this idol, I will say it is, I don't know. Now that I've kind of watched this show a lot longer now, it's been a couple seasons. Is it really hard to find an idol? Because it feels like it's hard. I'm not gonna lie, they're looking in all these places that I would never.
Bro, have you been to Belmont Plateau? Have you been to Belmont Plateau? For all our listeners, Belmont Plateau is a park in Philadelphia. Imagine if I just dropped my wallet in Belmont Plateau and said, "Yo, D, can you find?" I dropped my wallet in Fairmount Park at this picnic. Can you? That's the same thing about an idol, right? So if you have your little spots, I've been to maybe 5 spots around the park, so you can, but literally, that's how idol is. It's typically wrapped in some paper that kind of. This one was kind of just there. That wasn't like you had to go digging for this one. But I feel like production wants people to find these idols, and you just have to kind of be looking for it, and hopefully you get one, especially one that doesn't have any, beware to it, just a regular idol.
Oh my God, yeah. I would definitely want an idol that I ain't got to do shit for. Make it easier for me. I do not want to be doing all that. That's too much. But I actually like that they did that in the game, because I remember they did not do that before on Survivor. You just find it and that was it. Now I like that you have to do stuff and it's also for the audience. I'm entertained. But of course, everyone's looking for the idol, as they call it, idol fever. Venus is like, I'm going to go to an area that I saw, Tiffany find hers, or, an area where I know she got it from. And then she's like, I'm going to search these 2 areas. And lo and behold, Venus finds the idol. But while everyone is looking for this idol, how do we feel about Liz sleeping during this time?
I like it because what you're doing is you're lowering your threat level and you're demonstrating to your your teammates that you trust in relationships, right? So of course you want. Yo, is that Peter? It feel like, but it looks like Gator. But I want to think it's Gatorade.
I am struggling. I am so tired. Which I think we were talking about it. I literally just walked in the house from Boston from another Survivor event. At this point, it is now Bryce and Windows presents Really Small with Big D. I have been on the road with these guys. I'm supposed to be a Big Brother player. At this point, I'm like a Survivor player at this point.
Hey, come to the island, Big D.
Easy. It's not easy, James. I'm gonna tell you now, it is not easy doing these events. But no, I just want to make sure I'm good. I took my vitamins. I'm just running a little bit low on sleep, and I still need to eat. But I'm gotta get this done for the audience, because the Royal Court loves seeing the recaps of Survivor. So yes. Okay, but yeah, as you were saying, you said it lowered her threat level. I agree with that. It does lower her threat level, but it also makes me. I also have to take in mind that she's not really eating, so she's probably really, really tired too. So it's like she's not gonna waste that energy to be going looking for an idol because she's not eating like the rest of them. Where she's like, I gotta conserve my energy, and like you said, it could be a gameplay move too.
I mean, during the day, man, you get your sleep where you can. I took plenty of naps during the day because sometimes at night you just can't sleep. It's warmer during the day, so it's easier to get a couple of hours or an hour of shut eye. I think also it's kind of the morning too. So like, you wake up, yeah, early morning, wake up, and then you may be able to get like another hour in sometime before the challenge. I don't necessarily think it's such a bad idea. I feel like everybody says you need to be on go, 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 but at some point you have to know your body. And if you go too hard, then you may just be going home regardless. So, I feel like that was cool.
Let me ask you a question about the island real quick before I get to my next point. The bugs. How did you guys deal with the bugs? Because I'm watching like Naked and Afraid, and I'm seeing these bugs like attack people. Like, did they give you anything to deal with the bugs?
It's weird, but like the bugs weren't that big an issue. Like on some, like 100%, like I'm in the Boy
Like
Scout camp.
they weren't like
No,
they weren't like biting you like gnats and flies and things like that.
I mean, so when I played, we slept on the beach. So at the end of the day, like I didn't get bit up that often out there. I felt like I had a really good experience out there. We found food. Like I don't think I had the regular Survivor. Some people may get messed up, but
No,
I
you
don't.
did have a good experience. You guys were like good. I remember you guys like you were finding stuff and getting stuff done.
Yeah, that's what you gotta do out there. I feel like that's the one thing they don't talk about. Where a lot of times people don't go out there and play the game, right? Which is great, but there's other aspects to making the game easier or better, like having fire, like finding food, like being able to have a good shelter so people like are comfortable. Like all those things play a factor, even though sometimes they don't really get talked about. But yeah, so. I mean, you kind of do those things. I didn't really get bit up though. Like I don't remember getting bit up too bad. I know some people probably did at some point, but I didn't get bit up, so I don't really worry about nobody
I was
else.
just always curious because like they say, black people got a lot of juice in them. So I'm like, I know the buzz loves some black people. That's why I'm like, okay.
Hey,
but
man.
But okay, so Mackenzie and Venus are playing to work together. Maria and Charlie have a conversation, and Charlie is cutting to a lot of green screen moments throughout this episode where he's like, "I might have to let go of Maria. Maria is really a threat." I will tell you this: I met Charlie. I fell in love with Charlie because
Charlie's that dude, bro. Like here's the deal,
really
Charlie is that bull. Like
he is. I actually told him to his face, James. I said, I want to be honest with you, so you know, I definitely talk shit about you on the Royalty podcast. I just want to let you know that it's all about the Taylor Swift. And he was like, "Oh my God, no, I get it. It was a lot with Taylor Swift." So I love how like he was just so like, if that's the only thing you said about me, I'm cool with you talking shit about me on Taylor Swift. And he was just so happy, and his energy was so nice. He did. Let me tell you something. I have been to a lot of these events. I've been to a lot of Big Brother, Survivor, Amazing Race, Squid Games, all these other reality show meet and greets and watch parties. But watching how Charlie moved throughout the crowd, he really did take the time to talk to every single person, give them all great energy, take pictures, stay and make sure every person he got a chance to talk to. And I love that about him because I get that we all have this platform we got a chance to compete, but it's not even sometimes about us. Like the reason why we do these watch parties or do these podcasts or do stuff is for the sake of the fans. Like we do it for them. And it always reminds me to remember to stay humble and remember where I came from and look at me now. And I'm so thankful that people even know who I am or know who you are or anybody else on these shows. And just watching him move, it just really motivated me to go, I had to remember why I do what I do. So shout out to Charlie.
Yeah, shout out to Charlie, man. I got the opportunity to meet Charlie. I feel like that's the thing about like people. When you see people on TV, you meet them in real life. Like people may hate the character I was. When you meet me in real life, it's kind of a different. You may still hate me, but a lot of times you get like a more dimensional view on somebody. And I always had a good vibe for Charlie, but you can tell why people like feel the way they do around Charlie, and that's why like a person like Charlie is somebody that I would like probably target like ASAP. But that's just me
Oh,
though.
of course. No, but baby, same
Like,
here. Yeah, I would have been like, as soon as we got on Hunter and everybody else, Charlie's probably the next one who's winning stuff, and Maria. So both of them would have been my target. But Charlie does talk about getting Maria, going out. He's kind of like now talking to like Venus and, other people about getting out Maria. We cut to the challenge. The challenge is, I don't know if there was a name for it. I just called it another obstacle course because that's what I call it here on the royalty. There's always these obstacle courses where they have to walk over a balance. They have to walk over a balance
yeah.
beam while balancing a ball on a pole, and then be able to get through some figures that were like a table. Now you're balancing the ball. Like, what would you call it? I don't know. Does it have a name?
I don't even know what that like last thing was. Where I guess you had to keep the bottom on the snake and then push the ball along. I think they're maybe trying to do less puzzles for some reason. Like, maybe
Which
they're
I'm
trying
cool
to.
with, because there was a season they did a lot of puzzles, and I was like, oh my god, another puzzle, another puzzle.
Mm-hmm. I was
I
gonna
think
say
they
yeah,
should mix it up.
yeah. I mean, they should do like curveball or something. Some game I'm good at. Like, they can play Suey or something. No, we can't do Suey. No Suey. No
That's
suicide.
a game that you're good at. You're not there, James. Shut
Yo,
up.
I wanted them to have a chess competition when I was out there. I was like, wait, where's the chess tournament at? Like,
Oh
I'm
my
waiting.
God.
I'm like, yo, where's the stuff I'm great at? But no,
It never works out that way. Trust me, I understand that frustration. It never works out that way.
yeah. I mean, I feel like the challenge was good. Me personally, I feel like I like the challenges where you have to like really like attack other people. Like, I feel like that's the thing that is maybe missing, where like you do the first leg and you like X somebody out. Like, we have to really choose lines and really make moves within the challenge that are going to impact your social game, where you're taking out competition. Like, I think that's what's missing a little bit. But I did enjoy this competition. For me, it's one of them Jones I probably would have gave up. Not gave up. I would have tried, but I'd have been like. And I think that was cool. I feel like they're probably there for a long time.
It looked like they were there for a long time. And seeing them, the fact that they had to take a pole, balance this ball on the pole, like a tiny little ball on a tiny skinny pole, walk over a balance beam. Now you got to now transfer that pole into like a moving like a stick with a ball, and over these like humps and lumps, and I was like stressed. That looked
I'm glad I'm not
hard.
podcasting with Bryce, yo, because Bryce would have been talking about them poles and balls. Like, he would have been, yo, Bryce would have been, yo, we had to stop that man from talking about them poles and them balls.
I know. Hey, he
Sticking the
loves
pole and
balls.
ball and everywhere, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he loves a good pole and ball.
Yeah.
It comes down to Venus and Maria at the end. Like, it comes out to them twice because they both dropped and they keep getting close. And Venus gets to the very end. And when I mean the very end, I mean like, baby, she's got through the whole entire obstacle. All she got to do is just flip the pole over. The ball goes right in. Yep, just dip it right in. And she tries and oversights it, and it goes off, and it opens the opportunity for Maria to get it. And keep in mind, the plan of attack for everybody is they want to get out Maria. So if Venus could have won this,
No,
it could have been a wrap. But
so
Maria wins. What do you think?
I thought this was going to be like Venus's episode, right? Because she starts off because she finds the idol, right? Venus finds the idol. So I'm like, oh shoot, like this is about to go down. Like, this is where you can see, okay, bet a lot of confessionals, a lot of screen time. Okay, cool. At 7 is where you can start making your move. This is when Erica made her move. Marianne made her move around like 6. So when you gave, like, this is when you kind of start saying, okay, now she won immunity and she got an idol. Woo! That means she literally would be guaranteed here. She'd be sitting at 5. And so literally, it's funny, like, Survivor is like that close with your fate, where 1 inch, she could be in the guaranteed final 5, right? Just 1 inch away. And that 1 inch, and that's what happens, man. It's game of inches. That's that's how it is, man.
It was very interesting. You're right. It was very interesting to see like that 1 inch. Maria wins. Maria also discussed with a food reward, okay? And here we come. We finally, after maybe 30 minutes into the episode, here comes Ben. We have not heard from Ben. I don't know what's going on with Ben. I don't know if it's the edits of the show or what's happening, but Ben is not getting any type of like screenplay, and it gives me as an audience member, as someone watching, that he's just on vacation because I'm not really seeing much. Like he gets the tail end of things, and he'll come in and be like, "Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, let's do that." And that's why, and that's it. Like I don't see him like strategically doing stuff.
So I think the thing about it is with Ben is, and I think this is the hard part when sometimes when you are a bigger target in the game, where something I probably messed up in is that you can't be everything, right? If you're super social, you can't be a challenge beast and strategic, right? So you cannot have all four of the tools. Like you can't be social, athletic, or you can't look athletic because Charlie runs marathons. He's a beast. Like let's just it's like I feel like a lot of times in these games you have to look past the first level exterior and kind of look at what's happening. And I think for Ben, I feel like players like that are in a tough spot sometimes when you are super social and you don't want to seem too strategic because then you really put yourself out there as someone that could. And then also the moves that are being made, you kind of agree with. At the end of the day, he's rocking out with the people that he came to the Tika 3 rocked out. That was fine, right? And you saw equal.
He's rocking with Sega. Yeah, he's like, I'm riding with Sega.
Yeah,
So.
yeah, I'm with Sega. They out here. It's like, because at the end of the day, everybody's to go home. So, like, the order makes sense and matters, but at the same time, it really doesn't, too. We're like, unless someone is really coming for you, like, no one's trying to get Ben out. They're trying to get Maria, Charlie, Q out. So, in his head, we're here to survive. Like, what am I going to say anything for?
Yeah, true.
But then you do have to try to then, I don't know how Big Brother works, but I don't know if people talk about this is my move or I did this and I.
Oh yeah. And they'll use it and I mean they use it in their final speech.
But do you talk about during the game though?
If you trust somebody who's like a part of your like alliance, you might sit there and make that move. But we also know when you're a head of household and you put two people on the block and you're telling people who your target is, if they go home, everybody knows that was your move to make that happen because we all did what you want us to do. Or we can sit there and say, nah, we didn't want that to happen. We're making so-and-so go home and mess up your move or take somebody down from the block. So there's so many different things. That doesn't make that doesn't make somebody a threat. But winning multiple times, like how Maria is and stuff like that, and how Hunter was, that would have been something would have made people want to get rid of them.
See, for me, I feel like it's weird. Like, I feel like everybody's different. Like you said, like for me, I don't care about someone else winning because you got a challenge beast there for me. That's someone that's taking immunity away from someone that I can vote out, like vote out. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the way I look at it. You know what I'm saying? So, Hunter's there winning.
Evo for life.
Hunter's there. Man, if I knew about that Evo when I was out there,
you should have said it. That would have been great. The crossover would have happened with Survivor, and that would have been unstoppable. That we would have made a whole brand.
Like low-key, I think they're gonna do that one summer. I feel like they really want to have a Big Brother versus Survivor, like on the island, and then do it in the house.
Yeah. I think that would be a great crossover. If they really want to switch it up, I think that would be great if they do half Big Brother, half Survivor on the island, and then half Big Brother, half Survivor in the house, and have them air like back to back. That would be great. Or have them air at the same time. I mean, it'll be great. It'll be fantastic to watch.
So.
Maria picks Ben, and then Maria also is having a hard time picking. Keep in mind, this is a food challenge for pizza, a lot of pizza. She picks Ben, and then she's kind of like, she's thinking in her head, like you could tell she's going back and forth to pick Liz. Now, in this moment, Liz lets it know she has not pooped in 3 weeks. Okay, make sure everybody has that announcement. Liz has made an announcement that she has not pooped in 3 weeks. But Maria is kind of like, she doesn't know what to do. She's like, kind of like, she's working with Q because Q also picked her last time. And then she's like, you know what? At this point, how about Liz and Q?
Yo, that's crazy. Like that literally was crazy.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. I've never seen anything like it. And Jeff is like, you guys, this is the longest I've ever in history for people making a decision to pick somebody.
I feel like the longer you're out there, the more like people are hot, people are tired. Like the more the more you've been on it, like the more you have someone they done lost. Like you've been, and think about Maria. She ain't been in no real trouble the whole like post-mortem. But truth be told, none of them really have been in trouble post-mortem. Like no one's been clamoring to get Liz out. People have been wanting Venus out so she could be. I mean, people want to cute, but like Charlie been at a little bit, but people don't want to. People don't want to be out there. Once we lose,
it's too much. It's too much. It's too much. It's way too much. Like I get it, and then I think with her doing that cause. Like, cause she made him do rock, paper, scissors, shoot, and then she picks Q. And then everyone's like, are you kidding me? Like, look at Liz. Keep in mind, Jeff also made it known that there was a vegetarian, gluten-free pizza.
Oh, yeah, Jeff out there stirring shit up, yo. Jeff is stirring.
Which that really stirred up the pot. Because that was like, okay, at least we know there's a pizza for Liz. But I think it was just weird just to, not weird, but I found it interesting because, like you said, Maria was not a threat level. No one was really looking at Maria like, we got to get her out. That, until this episode, her making that move, and then the food incident, that's what caused Charlie, Venus, Liz, and Mackenzie, that they're all hating Maria for not picking Liz when they should have picked Liz.
No, but I also say F that though, yo. Because at the end of the day, it's about relationships, right? Maria said, Liz, you don't talk to me. So like, put it like this. It's like, me and Owen are good. If I win a reward and the person trying to vote me out, or like someone that doesn't talk to me in the game I'm not related to, is like, yo, I don't care if you didn't eat. This is like the game. The game is meant to be vicious, yo. Like I don't care that you can't. Like, yo, when you go on these shows, like you know from it, like that there's certain things, especially everything you have, or everything you are, you bring to these shows. Like there's certain things that as whatever you're representing, you kind of have to be a part of. If you're a mother, you kind of want to do a certain image. If you're a black man, you want to have a certain image. If you're a black gay man, or like you just have certain things that you're suppressing or thinking about regardless. So everybody's doing that. So at the end of the day, it's kind of like, for me, I'm always like, yo, build relationships. And like that's what you're out there to do, where someone wants to give you a full reward. But if you're not building relationships, and from like I don't ever see like, I mean, I saw Maria came to Liz to get the vote the last minute, but when someone's doing that, then they not really with you. So you gotta make
yeah. It's all every game is about relationship. That's why when you have social threats like me, and you got to get them out the game. It's just what it is. I mean, he got you out the game, but get me out the game. But
I mean, the head not alliance worked on your season. the head not alliance worked on your season. Call it the cookout, call it you want.
It did, but I would just say you are right about that. They go on their pizza. I'm gonna try to speed it up. They go to their pizza reward. Ben, Q, Maria. They're talking about taking out Venus. Ben is now Ben. Now I'm seeing Ben. After all these episodes, I'm seeing Ben even more now. Because last time I saw Ben was when he was crying about when he had his sleep attack, which is really really sad. And Mackenzie checking up on him. That was like 4 or 5 episodes ago. But he's talking about like we need to focus on Venus. Like Venus is the person. So they're talking about Ben, Maria, like you said before, getting 4 people together to work to get to the end. So Ben, Maria, Q, and Charlie. That is the goal. Charlie's not there. He's back at the other camp. Things get really tense when Maria comes back. It seemed, like I said, that like people are kind of giving her that cold shoulder. They're asking those BS questions like, how was it? Did you like it? What did you have? Stuff like that when they really don't care. Okay.
Yeah, I would have been rubbing it in. I would have been like, I'm full as fuck. This is my second meal. Like, yo, you should have been there. Like, yo, get out of here. Like,
you're wild. That's wild. Okay. Maria talks about how she didn't want the reward because she didn't want to take responsibility of everything. And they were like, they don't give a F. They really didn't give a F. I watched all the reaction. They did not care. Maria saying that, I don't think was smart at all to do. It just really puts like a sting in the dagger of how they're already feeling. And I think she read the room wrong. Liz. Cuss to Liz. Liz is still pissed that Q is like there. It is like driving her insane. At this point, I would be worried if I was Q sleeping at night because of Liz.
I mean, when you give that focus on somebody, that's always bad for your game. Or bad for everybody's game.
Yeah.
There may have been people that have been on my season that were focused on getting me out, and what happens is you focus on this laser focus on this one person, and you just miss the bigger picture. Like you miss the relationships, you miss because you're so busy trying to drive what you want to do for this one person. It doesn't matter to be told. Like the goal is to win the game. So
Yeah,
it's kind
I'll
of
never make that mistake again. I made that mistake being so focused on Tiffany the whole entire time that there's other things I could have been doing, which I still made sure make sure we execute that plan to get her out when we got to the sixth and make sure everybody stay together. But it was just still like I'll never want to focus on one person again because you lose, like you say, you lose other things. And like I already put it out there, it should happen. If not, I need to be making sure everything else is good. So
it's like, because when you focus on one person like this, and it's been the story of the season. I mean, we're gonna get to it eventually, but it's like
yeah,
and I feel like it's a thing that traditionally in shows, like you can target the big black guy. That works. He played football, and it's a great story. Get the guy out, like. And if you're gonna keep running with that, then cool. Like, but you have to at some point take a step back and say, and just have some agency, and be like, all right, we know this person's the target, but what's really happening? And when I make this vote, who does this really benefit? So, yeah.
Sorry, you have to think about those things. Venus, I want to cut to Venus. Venus has a great conversation with Charlie, and she's talking to Charlie, which I don't know what's wrong with people. I don't know why people can't keep things secret. But she's like dropping little hints, like I have something up my sleeve, or no, I really don't have nothing up my sleeve. I'm saying somebody else could have something. Like it was like, baby, don't play. You can't play like that. You cannot play like that. Like that was really dumb.
Because that makes.
I think that when this is happening, James, just to kind of get to it, I think Charlie's like, do you have an idol? No. And it's like, why did you have that weird conversation right before you're about to go to Tribe? It was weird for me.
That's the thing, right? People are, so if you are quote unquote at the quote unquote bottom, you kind of want chaos. You want to cause uncertainty. When you're talking to people on the top, you don't want, like, people on the top don't want uncertainty. They want to know what is happening. And I think that's the perception of, like, a Kenzie and a Venus, is that Charlie is just doing what Ben and Maria want him to do, which is what Charlie is putting out. Like, from an energy standpoint.
Do you think that he's just doing what
Heck
what
no.
Ben
Charlie
and
is
Maria wants him to do?
Charlie is a killer. He is
I
a
feel like
killer.
I feel like he's a secret killer that nobody's really seeing and stuff. It's very interesting to see.
I mean, and that's the thing about Survivor. Like, you can know everybody's out there to play cutthroat, but then your own personal bias about people, about mannerisms, about everything that you have in the real world comes into whatever game you play. So, I heard, Venus, so Charlie is, good by Tevin's like, I got Charlie with me. And Charlie's one of my guys. Like, these players are not your players. They are not your people. like they're playing the game too. And whenever you start discounting people's agency in their own, opinion, then that's when you kind of start having a blind spot to, Maria and Charlie have been voting together, and Ben have been voting together, and Q have been voting together for the last, I don't know, 4 or 5 votes.
Four. Yeah, they have been. They've been on the right side of the vote every time.
And it's kind of like, but then that's the thing about the right side of the vote. It's like, I was on the right side of the vote too. It's like, no, like the right side of the vote is the majority needed to get somebody out. Everybody else, you are just extra. Like you may be on the right side, but you extra. You have to understand that and then make a move to prevent that moving forward. So.
Of course. Ben's talking. I did put it here. Ben's finally talking after 45 minutes into the show. He's talking to Charlie about how they want to get out Venus. Charlie once again brings up Taylor Swift, of course, because that's his thing. I pray after this season that he meets Taylor Swift or something happens, because I've never seen so much plug for Taylor Swift on a competition show.
Crazy.
It's crazy. Charlie talks to Mackenzie about getting rid of Venus. So now Mackenzie's like, what? Like, what? Didn't we just talk earlier about getting out Q? And, I understand how it's frustrating. And now we're going into Tribal not knowing who it's going to be. Like, I am now sitting there thinking in my head, it is Q. Trust me, when I'm sitting there watching this episode going, it's Q. They're definitely going for Q. Jeff, let me start with this. Jeff, I have never, and this is how I know this season's crazy. Jeff gives them a Tweezler and tells them to split it between all of them. Has Jeff ever gave anybody food at a tribe?
I was waiting for a villain moment like that. Pass me that licorice. I mean, the whole thing at Tribal. Let me be immune. let me be immune. I mean the whole thing, yo. I'm just passing some. I'm like, we voting this way tonight.
I'm just saying, has that ever happened?
I mean, I don't know. It happened my season, but they hated our season.
Unhinged.
I feel like he's having fun. I feel like this group of survivors is like, feel like this, like good survivor, like playing a good game isn't that entertaining. Like it's like, cause you go into tribal council, it's like we go in there, like you're like, all right, here's the narrative. Here's the people this is what we're telling the people that are outside of the vote. Here's how we're going to communicate. So we're telling them this so that they understand the vote. And it's like, when that's happening, it's kind of just like, it's probably not the best television when people really got things on lock. But when you have a group of people where, like, you don't know what is about to happen, like, it's like literally Q, like, fake quit, and they still voted out Tevin, which is crazy. But here's what people forget about the whole thing, right? Is that the reason why Maria and Q are tight is because Q told Maria that Tiff was coming for her, right? Like, and we have to understand these things. Like, that is the big. So Q made a choice. Q said, Maria, you're my homie. And Maria, and we're like, why is Maria messing with Q? Because Q, number one, was trying to come at Maria. He told her so that she could defend herself. And and people don't want to talk about loyalty and actually doing things for other people, and Survivor is all about me. But you see these groups that are forming, like you have Sega and Q, they've been voting together for the last 10 freaking votes. Like, so showing that you're loyal to someone in the right time can buy you life in this game a lot of the times.
Oh, of course. Loyalty is a big thing. And if you're loyal to the right person, and the person that might be winning stuff or winning things could get you very far in the game. I mean, that's why I was 100% loyal to Xavier the majority of the time. I loved him like a brother, but I'm also loyal to him because I knew he could win stuff and get me and him out the pickle if we need to. And I knew his loyalty was as loyal to me as I was to him. So I think that's what people have to remember. Sometimes you got to find that right person that's going to be able to be loyal to you the whole entire time while you're in the game. I found that tweets are just interesting. But go ahead. What were you going to say?
And sometimes that person is someone that you necessarily don't like. And I feel like because Maria is a grown, like, adult, like, who's been through things, like, you work with, like, she's been through things, so she can be like, well, I've worked with people. I may have a manager I don't like, I have a boss I don't like. I don't like my kids, so I like my kids sometimes. Like, this how, like, you're able to say, like, it's only 26 days. Like, a person can't get under your skin that much that you can, it's like, so you have to kind of, I think she's playing a great game. I think Charlie's playing a great game. Charlie doesn't want to play with Q, but he's like, as long as you're going to let him be a decoy, what the heck, more power to him,
I agree. I think Maria's playing a phenomenal game. I think Charlie's playing a phenomenal game, and I think Q is also, even though people don't like Q's game, I think he's doing great of just doing what he needs to do to keep making it each time, because it depends, and he might not be good for jury because all the jury members don't care for it and they're upset. But I think if he makes it to the end, there is a possibility that.
I think Q's going to the end. It's like, I feel like Q. So? Oh, bro, like, here's the deal. I think I told this on one other. Q and Maria have been locked in since Q told Maria that Tiff wanted her out. Like, at the end of the day, Q is not going to probably get jury votes, right? So you have no real motivation to really take him out. Only thing I want to take him out is for pure, just like, vitriol. And everybody has this whole thing that we can just get people out later. Like, no, if you're playing the game strong, you need to get everybody else that's a straggler, can be someone's plus one, out the game. You don't have these. You don't have
to be on their own. You need to be the only person that has the numbers. You got to get people on their own, which it makes sense. That's why that's just a strategic type of move and things like that. But before we cut to that, Venus calls out Maria just on her gameplay. This is a little bit of a heated type of tribe, and then Venus and Q go at it. I will say this: out of all the juries I've seen over the seasons of Survivor, right now this jury is my favorite because I usually don't hear a lot from this jury, but having Tevin and Soda and Tiffany up there, they're like giving
looks too,
looks
looks
and
too,
and oops and
looks.
oops. When
Got that
Tiffany said,
melanin in
"Oop,"
the jury. All that melanin on the jury is amazing.
yes, because let me tell you something, Venus talking to Q, and then Q being like, "Oh, you were outside the votes," and she was, what she say? I think she said something like, "Oh, you didn't know about them," and Tiffany going, "Oop, I was dead." Like, I love that, like that, just hearing little things from the jury. But I found it very interesting. Now, Venus has an idol in her pocket, okay. And Jeff, does his famous line, "It is now time to tally the votes, but before I tally the votes, da da da, who has an idol?" Venus does not play her idol. And the votes start going, and everyone, majority of them besides Ben, voted out Venus. And I could not believe it, because I was like, how did that happen? And I was also like, this is the third person going home, am I correct, with an idol in their pocket. Oh, the fourth. Oh, my God.
Because what happens is, here's what happens. What happens is when you don't know you're outside of the vote of the majority, you've been voting with the majority for a minute, right? So then you're like, oh, I'm on the right side of the vote. Charlie talks to Ben and is like, yo, Venus is acting crazy. Bet, that's cool. Liz, we're taking out Venus. So, Kenzie, we're taking out Venus. The reason why I think I tweeted that this was nasty work is that you get Kenzie to vote on your side, right? To vote out Venus, right? Because you don't want Q to have extra vote, right? So you don't want to put a vote on Q, because that's what she wanted to do. And so if Venus plays her idol, it's a tie between Q and Kenzie goes home. So it's like voting, they got her to vote for Venus, and it made her the backup vote. Like, that's some nasty, cutthroat survivor that I love. That's why I said Ben. I'm like, oh, I see you, Ben. Like,
I'm glad you said that, because I didn't understand why Ben wrote her name. I was like, was he outside the vote? Like,
oh no,
got it. That makes sense. Wow, look at that. Wow, oh wow, is nasty.
That's nasty work, bro.
That is nasty. That is really thinking a lot of steps ahead.
Because if she votes for Q, right, and Venus votes for Q, that's two. So when Venus plays her idol, right, that means Q goes home, right?
Yeah. But there was only one for Q and one for Kenzie.
And then they do a revote, and they're going to vote Kenzie behind out there and keep Q. Like, that's what, like, that is some nasty, beautiful survivor play. That is like, mwah, at least to me, where I'm just like, well, you can tell that, and the thing about it is, like, that was a unified vote. So who thinks they're winning with this unified vote? Like that's the question. Like, everybody's on the same page for the vote, except for literally Kenzie and maybe even Liz. Liz does not know that Kenzie's a backup, but Liz probably doesn't even care that Kenzie is a backup. So it's kind of just like that's one of the nastiest votes of the new era when you really think about kind of how everything goes down in my head.
Now that you broke that down, James, I love that. Okay, well, with this season, how are you feeling with this season? What are your predictions? What do you think is going to happen next episode, or just, overall? I'd love to hear your predictions, of course.
So I feel like right now, I feel like someone needs to, if Liz can find the idol and somehow play it and not take Q out, play it and take someone else out, like a Maria or maybe even a Charlie. But right now, I just feel like Charlie's going to just win. I feel like it's right now 6. Right, so we know we got a secret 3. So you only need 4 to get to the end. So the question is, like, do you want to go to Rocks? And I don't think anybody on Q's not going to Rocks when you got 3 people that are going to vote with you. So the question is kind of like, what happens? What does Ben want to do? Like does Ben want to kind of start some stuff? And does he feel like he can beat Marie and Charlie? Like, how comfortable does he feel? And then if there's an idol that's found, can that idol, because the last time that we played, really make an impact? No, it's 6, so you got 2 more. But is there idol? Because right now, it just makes sense for who doesn't want to take Q to the Final 4. Like, and if you're Maria, if Q wins, right, Q's going to take Maria to the finals probably. He can make her make fire, okay, whatever. Or he can take Ben if he wants. At the end of the day, your goal is to get the 4. You can figure it out after that. The face in your hand after that, you win the challenge through fire. So you got 2 more votes. you have a majority of 4, right? Like this is it's kind of simple. Hopefully, it's some fun stuff happens, and I think they've done a good job of kind of camouflaging how dominant of a game Sega is kind of playing. I feel bad for my guy Tim that got clipped because I think he would have been in there and he would have been doing this thing. You know, him or Ben would have been almost in the same exact spot. I think right now, just based on how everybody else was playing.
And me strategically looking from the outside in, I probably would take Ben or I would take Liz if I had the opportunity.
I feel like Liz gets to the end. I feel like you gotta realize her whole tribe is there, and and Liz, right? So Liz may be something you want to take. Liz flipped on Soda, and Liz flipped on Tevin. And then the first two members.
That's why I'm saying I would take her because I feel like I could convince them to
go
for me over her. And then Ben, I'm sorry, Ben's just there. Ben hasn't done anything, so that would just be my argument. But that's just my thoughts, my final thoughts.
I think Charlie's gonna win. I feel like I was leaning that way, and then it's just kind of like, bro, like. These unassuming players love them to death, like a Jesse my season, like all these people, like the Jam, like they're like, what are y'all doing?
No, take them out. They're not taking them out. So James, tell everybody what you're up to. Like I know you say you're working. What are you working on next? What's going on? I know you love cooking. You're very good with cooking. I heard about that. So you still owe me a meal, but we'll work it out sometime.
Hey, you live around the corner, low key, but
I know.
yeah, man, we can make this happen.
Literally past your house. Bryce was like, "That's James's house." I said, "Oh, okay."
So y'all just not gonna stop by and kick it with your boy? Noted. Understood. Joking. It's all good. Joking.
I am running on 3 hours of sleep.
No, literally joking. But no, so right now I'm chilling, working in Philly. I will be at the Bryson Wynn event on May 15th in Philly at Fringe Art. So if you're in Philly, come mess with your boy. My birthday was on Tuesday. That was lit. I'm probably going to start a podcast.
So we'll turn up next week for your birthday then. We have to.
Oh, yeah, and I think I'm doing like a Taco Tuesday day before about bourbon or barbecue. I'll let you know about that, too. So, but everything's good here. Enjoying the season of Survivor. Looking forward to Big Brother All-Stars with Big D on that joint when he get on that thing, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if I'll be saying those things.
I'm just manifesting. I'm just praying that the season 30 is an All-Stars. It should be an All-Stars, but we still got a long way to go. We got to get through 26, 27, 28, 29, and maybe, I don't know, maybe they'll bring back
but traders, here's the deal. I feel like CBS, we know that we're like the flagship when it comes to this like reality TV, competition game show. Like, it's what it is. Like, when we go other places, we dominate from and I feel like hopefully, and we enjoy I enjoy the competition. Like, forget everything else. It's like, I haven't competed like that since high school. So it's like, CBS, like, challenge. Fake traders, do like get people in the mix. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I will say this: I'm very happy because the GOAT just came out. I'm happy to. I feel like they are making and No Deal, No Island, all that type of stuff. Like I feel like a lot of these shows are now getting to the point of making more shows so they can pick other reality stars to come back to their TVs, and I like that, and I hope they continue that. Still make opportunities for Big Brother and Survivor, and the Mole and all that to have like these new competitors. But I do enjoy the fact that we are getting to the point of we're making more other shows on other networks so that people can come and compete. Because if CBS is not going to give us jobs, like we got to go other places. And there's nothing wrong with that. They just maybe not need us right now. But we'll see. Like I said, if they call you James, I would be excited for you for Survivor
me too.
50.
And they called me for 49. If they call me for 49, they call me for 48. They can call. I don't gotta play with the returning players, yo. Put me up. Give me some lame ducks out there, yo.
I feel the same way. I don't want to play. If I play with some returning players, it's gonna be all hell because I'm be so distracted of just reading everybody. I'm gonna forget I'm in the game. But playing with new players, I feel like I can like dibble and try new things. Oh, James, tell everybody where they can follow you and all that type of stuff. Please let everybody know.
All right, so it's J to the Jones on Instagram. It's J to the Jones on Twitter. If you see me on Twitter, it's actually me. I know I look like a stand account or whatever like that, but it actually is me. Holla at your boy. You see me in real life, I'm around. If I'm lit in real life, like just understand. Don't be too mad at me if I'm not there all the time because I'm having a good time.
You are lit all the time. Well, James, thank you so much for joining me. I know this is long overdue. I appreciate you coming and recapping Survivor. I'm so glad it was you because like I couldn't keep up. So you taught me so many new things that I didn't even know. So I need to keep that in mind. And now
I'm trying to lower my threat level. Stop talking like that, Derek. I'm a bad Survivor player.
You are not. You are a great Survivor player. Yes, I would definitely use you to as long as my benefits, and I don't have to get rid of you.
Hey, walking shield, you know.
All right, guys. Until next time, guys, we're coming down to the wire. We have about, if I'm correct, 2 more episodes, and we're done with Survivor. So remember, guys, next week is the Philly Bryson Wynn Present. So you're in the Philly, tri-state area, please come. And then we're all going to be in New York for the finale. So we're so excited to see you guys. All right, until next week. Love you guys. Bye.